Welcome to Friday Friends, RI Elder Info's weekly look at the organizations and individuals providing resources for Rhode Island seniors, caregivers, and professionals.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Friday Friends. Every Friday at 9 o'clock, I come on here live and speak with some amazing organizations that are doing stuff that you or someone you know and care about really needs to know about. So super important that you hit the like button and the follow button. I guess like and follow the same thing. Hit the share button so that more people can get the information that we're talking about today. It's going to be a great show. I'm really excited about my guest today. I am Deb Burton, and I am the executive director of RI Elder Info. We are a nonprofit here in Rhode Island that maintains the most comprehensive resources for seniors, caregivers, and professionals. We're always happy to share information that helps people remain independent as we age. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we are sustained by our sponsors and our donors. Every dollar counts, so you can go right on the RI Elder Info website and hit the donate button if you find this information helpful. Every little bit matters. Excuse me. And I am really grateful to our sponsors that help us keep going. So big shout out to Oak Street Health. They have locations in Warwick, two in Providence, and one up in Woonsocket. They provide comprehensive medical care for individuals who receive Medicare. They even provide transportation to the doctor's offices. So like today, when the weather's all nasty out, if you had a doctor's appointment, they're going to come right to your house to pick you up and take you. You don't have to worry about driving around in the bad weather. They take care of that for you. They also have cool community rooms with computers. So if you need help, getting online to fill out forms, that's open to the community. So anybody can go in and do that. And they actually have people there who can help you too. Very cool place. You should check it out. Also, my friends over at United Healthcare, they provide some amazing benefits for the Medicare beneficiaries. You can contact Jennifer Barrows over there. She has a team who speaks multiple languages, so they are able to really speak to you in the language that works best for you. And then the magic that you're seeing take place right now is being done by 321 Media. 321 Media is an amazing production company that helps us with our live streams and all of the technical aspects that make this look good in the back. So I am also very grateful to England Studio. They are the website designers award winning for rielderinfo.com. They make that website look amazing because I am not a website designer, that's for sure, but they are, and they do great work. Also, a shout out to Tamarisk Assisted Living. They are a great little assisted living right in Warwick. You speak to Susan or Sean over there, and they will take care of you or your loved one just like family. So again, amazing people that are supporting the work being done by RI Elder Info. And speaking of amazing people, my guest today has been on before because she's awesome. Her program is awesome. I'd like to welcome Annie Murphy from the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association. Hi, Annie.
Good morning, Deb. So wonderful to be on the program again today, and I just hope you and everybody who's live with us this morning is safe and dry and doing okay in the storm today. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So tell me, what is fun and new happening at the Alzheimer's Association? You guys are always doing some cool stuff for individuals who have Alzheimer's or other kinds of dementia and their caregivers. So what's new now?
Deb, we are, extremely busy this time of year. We here at the Rhode Island chapter, along with our colleagues in New England, we are actually in the planning stage and working and promoting our family conference, which is actually being organized by all of our New England chapters. And that's actually going to be taking place March 4th and March 5th in a couple of months away. So
that's only actually, I think, about 2 weeks away.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't even know
like 2 weeks from today.
Absolutely. So, we're very excited. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal conference. Again, we're still doing it virtual because we're still in sort of this COVID, you know, world that we are. But I think, having a virtual conference, it's allowing so many more of our families and people living with a diagnosis to participate in the conference. And we're just really excited about the lineup of presentations and programs that we have available.
So tell me, who's going to be there? Who should be tuning into this? Who is
Okay.
this for?
So this is specifically for our families and for those living with a diagnosis. So
Okay.
on our first day, which is March 4th, our conference starts at 9 a.m. That day is specifically focused for people who are living in the early stages of Alzheimer's disease and other dementias and their families. So we have a phenomenal panel of family members and people living with the diagnosis who are going to share their stories and what they're doing to bring awareness to Alzheimer's disease, for us to help lessen the stigma of the disease, but also to talk about what they're doing to live their best lives and to prepare for the journey of Alzheimer's disease with their family and friends.
You bring up a really good point. I think there's some misperceptions about what it looks like when you've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's or another related dementia. There's some misperceptions that all of a sudden you're not participating in life anymore, and everybody has to kind of bubble wrap you and protect you. So, will this conference really address those folks who have the diagnosis, but they're participating in life?
Absolutely. And that is what, our focus is for the first day. We actually are having two actually presentations and workshops and that's what we're really focusing on, is getting people to understand that, Alzheimer's disease, in the early stage of the disease, we have people walking around who will continue to work and, working and socializing and being active and, living, their best days with the disease. And, that's that just not recognizing, so many people still think of Alzheimer's disease at the late stage. And, the focus is on, for us to help that individual to focus on their capabilities and their abilities, and to really, work through with the family of, how to support that person with the diagnosis. So, I think the panel is really going to shed light on that. I think the panel will give opportunities for people to kind of think about, what do I need to begin doing after this diagnosis is given. So many times, I think families are so overwhelmed with the diagnosis, and there's just so many emotions that they are experiencing, and families need to really take time to process those feelings, and that process of emotions is going to continue throughout the journey of the disease. And we really try to focus on family members really continue to communicate, just talk with their families, about what they're experiencing, what they're feeling, so that they can really create a stronger bond through this disease.
So, do you find with more people being aware of Alzheimer's and dementia, are more people recognizing things that they should be concerned about and speak with their doctor about? Or do you think it's one of those things that people just kind of don't ask what you don't want to know?
I think you're seeing both. I think for those individuals who are living with the diagnosis and their family, they need to have the knowledge of what they need to know. So that is crucial. And, we really encourage, people to reach out to the Alzheimer's Association to make sure that they understand what they need to know. I always say that education is power.
Yeah.
And so, we have so many opportunities for family members to learn about their diagnosis. We have early stage support groups that can really help that family member and, to just process what they're experiencing, and just, to what do I need to do now? What is it that I need to do now so that I can be prepared for the future? And, our 24/7 helpline is that key resource that people can reach out to and say, what do I need? What do I need to do now?
So, say you're a family who you just got that diagnosis yesterday. You met with the doctor, and the doctor said, yes, you have dementia, um, for any one of the various causes of dementia. And you're now tuning in. Somebody's like, oh, check out Friday Friends. The Alzheimer's Association is going to be on. What's one or two things that an individual who has dementia or family members need to be aware of, like, right now? Like, you just got the diagnosis yesterday. You're still like in that shock and awe. What's a couple things that it's like, besides take a deep breath, it's going to be okay? What are some things that they should be aware of?
Most important, they really need to, think about who their physician and the medical team
Mhm.
that they are working with, and to make sure that they truly have knowledge and a background so that they can support that individual, and from a medical. So you want to make sure that if you're a primary care practice, you want to know, is there a social worker on in that team? Is there a nurse care manager who
Yeah.
truly can help be a resource for you?
Yep.
So that's truly important. And two, there's a lot of emotions that are involved with this. And, if, this may be an opportunity to reach out and, for therapy, to process your feelings. And, we've seen many couples who do, group or couple therapy to
Mhm.
process this. So that right there, is part of that care team that we want family members to develop. And if you're not comfortable with your doctor, you need to find another physician. That's
Amen to that.
and two, I just think it's really important too that, you've received this diagnosis, but you've had a proper diagnosis as well. So that you're, making sure that you're ruling out everything. It's not that I'm asking you to, just second guess what your physician is saying, but, you should really be being treated and seen by a neurologist who specializes in Alzheimer's disease or other related dementias. So
How important is it for people to find out what kind of dementia they have, whether it is Alzheimer's or Lewy body or Wernicke-Korsakoff or any of the frontal temporal, any of the wide variety of kinds of dementia? How important is it? Can that help families and the person with the diagnosis better understand what is going to happen?
yes, because the dementia symptoms that are associated with these different forms of dementias, they present themselves differently, and so that's important for knowledge for the families. So earlier we were talking about Lewy bodies. We know that many individuals who have Lewy body dementia may experience hallucinations or delusions, and so we need to be prepared as caregivers and family supporters to how we're going to support that individual, and then also what is going to potentially be the best treatment for that individual. So it is important. And and what I can tell you, it does take time. Dementia is not a diagnosis. It
And
truly
I think that's something that's really important for people to understand,
is.
is it's a symptom.
Correct. And, and what we know too is that there are dementia symptoms that are treatable and that are reversible. So that's important for people to understand as well, that, just going into your physician practice, into your physician's office and, you know, talking about a few symptoms is not really a proper diagnostic process. So, we really need, for the physician to do a full workup, and if that means being referred to a neurologist, that's crucial. So
That's really good. So when is the conference coming up?
again, the conference is going to be Friday, March 4th and Saturday, March 5th. It starts at 9 a.m. So again, the first day is all about those folks living with the diagnosis for their family members. And then the second day is truly, has all sorts of wonderful aspects. There's going to be one of the presentations and programs is specifically on legal and financial planning. And then another program is really about taking care of that caregiver. And then, we have another expert who's going to be speaking about, just really about the supportive practices that we can support that loved one, and what that looks like. So, I encourage everybody to participate if they can, and let's promote the conference, out to all of our friends and family. So.
Absolutely. So Carrie Lynn had a really good question. If a family needs help navigating the steps needed, what approach would you take in helping to direct them? And for example, finding doctors, social workers, therapists, that kind of thing.
Okay. So, I always go back to how important it is for us to know what our health insurance covers.
Yeah.
So that's really, that is such an important factor. And I do encourage, that every family member every year, when you have that, opportunity to look at your, your health insurance to figure out, this is my health insurance now. Do I need to change it? Is there another health insurance plan out there that's better for my situation? So, we know we have the SHIP counselors here in Rhode Island at many of our, senior community centers. So, I encourage people to reach out to those so they can talk about the health insurance that they have and make sure that they have the right insurance for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the Senior Health Insurance Patrol, SHIP. And they are at the senior centers. You can also call 211 The Point.
Mhm.
And there, if you feel that there is a problem with your health insurance or coverage and you have questions, you can also call the healthcare ombudsman over at Ripon. Ripon's been on before, and we've talked about that in other Friday Friends. So, people can get those questions answered. Is Alzheimer's, is dementia something that only happens to everybody just because, they're old?
No, we know what there are prominent or dominant risk factors. So, our number one risk factor for developing Alzheimer's specifically is age. So, about 1 in 4 individuals over the age of 85 are diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. But we do see individuals in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who are living with the diagnosis as well.
Wow.
So age is a most dominant risk factor, but then we know that family history is another risk factor. So if you're seeing your mother, father, sibling, that it increases your likelihood of being diagnosed. Then also heredity, so genes. There are genes associated with Alzheimer's disease, and depending on that combination of your genes, also makes it, gives you a higher likelihood of developing the disease.
Okay. So if you are seeing it in your family, it's probably good to look into that, but is it genetic testing can be costly. Are
Right.
there opportunities to get that done for free? Like if you reach out to a research study, will they test you for that? And, is there a cost associated if you did that?
I think it really depends on the study that you're interested in and what they'll do specifically for, any kind of genetic, testing. So, again, we just always encourage that you talk to your primary care physician about the possibility of genetic testing. It's, it's a decision that you need to make. And it's not a decision that, should be taken lightly. Because it can definitely, change your aspect of how you're going to, live, your best life. So I think it's encouraged that, just it's something that, needs to take some, decisions and planning and really thoughtful, decision making about that. So.
And I've heard that, some things that we can do to kind of reduce our risk. I mean, if we're genetically predisposed, then there's not a lot that we can do. But Otherwise, there's things that we can do to reduce our risk of
Mhm.
developing some kind of dementia. Can you share what some of those things are that we might be able to do?
Absolutely. I think diet and exercise are two areas that I think we have a lot of control over. So, the research is telling us that, that heart pumping exercise is really, really important, because what's good for our heart is good to our brain. So we want to, increase all of that wonderful oxygenated blood to our brains, which can help. I know it feeds our brain. Um, we're seeing there's a lot of focus on the Mediterranean and DASH diet. And so that is, two key elements that we have a lot of control over. But it's so, so important again that, if you're going to be, working on a new exercise regime or increasing, changing your diet, you really need to talk to your doctor about that, because you want to make sure that, you are doing what's best for you, but in a healthy way.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
you know, and then,
Absolutely.
and then, research is telling us that, um, you know, remaining social and in changing and in improving our social connections. So, getting involved in clubs and, you know, um, new, hobbies, but doing those with other individuals. So if you're interested in becoming a knitter or, taking on, you want to get involved in a club to do that so that you're, learning with each other. That social connection is absolutely important.
And,
Education.
and that was one of the things I think that we saw a lot of folks and are still seeing a lot of folks having a really hard time through COVID is we've lost that social connection. And I've read that sometimes depression can kind of mimic dementia, and
Yes.
that is something that's treatable.
Yes. And that is so important, especially for our caregivers who are living with a diagnosis and our caregivers who are caring for someone with a diagnosis, because there's, a much higher risk for our family caregivers for being, having depression. And so we really, need to, know what those signs are, but also for the person living with the diagnosis, depression is rampant. So that can also, um, bring out more of the dementia-like symptoms. So we really need to make sure that that's something that we are being aware of and looking out for. So
Mhm. So that conference is March 4th and 5th, so Friday and Saturday. So
yes,
if you write out those dates, it's actually 3, 4, 5. We're kind of chuckling about that before the
sure,
show. And you mentioned too that on Saturday you're going to have conversations and educators around financial planning and that type of thing.
yes,
I think it's really important for viewers to understand Medicare does not cover long-term care, long-term services and supports. So you really want to have a plan around this.
mhm.
And so what time does the conference start on Friday and Saturday?
So the conference starts at 9 a.m.
Okay.
And the first presentation will actually start at 9:15, and it actually goes through until the early afternoon. And I think it's important to also know that on our second day we actually have a couple of presentations that will actually be done in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
So we are very fortunate about that, and so I really think it's important that you know that. So we'll be talking about specifically, the really an overall understanding of Alzheimer's disease, and the impact that it has on our families in the Hispanic community. So I think that's really important for people to be aware of.
Absolutely. And unfortunately there's not necessarily um always information available in more than one language. So I think that that is super important to get the word out. All the more reason everybody should hit share.
Yep,
Um,
absolutely. And one of the things that the presentation is really going to do is going to give some of our families who are living with the diagnosis, living with the diagnosis now, to give them an opportunity to share their experiences, what it's like. So
yep. So do people have to register for the conference?
yes, they do. And that is really, really important for everyone to know about. So you can actually go to alz.org, and this is where it gets a little more complicated, /MANH/events/family conference.
There you go. See, that was the magic of Ben. And
And
it's
then,
also in the comments.
yep, and also, anybody who's struggling with, this online registration, they can reach out to our helpline and register.
Oh, good.
So, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, people can reach out to the helpline at 1-800-272-3900.
And so Joanne Daly, hi Joanne, asked whether or not this is going to be recorded.
You know what? That is a very good question. I don't have an answer, but I will get it for you. I don't know.
Awesome. Because I know sometimes, speakers may not wish to be recorded and others may be fine. So there might be segments that are available to be recorded while others are not. Now, is this New England conference, is this in addition to the conference that you usually have here in Rhode Island over at the Crown, or is this kind of both of them melded together? Do we still
No,
get our own here in Rhode Island?
yes, we do. We absolutely do. So the 11th annual Caregiver Journey Conference, which is the Rhode Island chapter of the Alzheimer's Association has been putting on annually for the last 10 years. We are actually, conference will be held May 3rd and May 4th of this year. Right now, we are planning for a in-person conference on May 3rd, and then a full day of virtual conference on May 4th. But again, as I always say, we're living in kind of these crazy times with COVID, and things could change, but we are moving ahead and hoping that we can have our conference in person on May 3rd. Yeah, keep our fingers crossed. Absolutely. I so many of our families here in Rhode Island have been, reaching out every year, the last couple of years, just hoping that our conference could be back in person, because so many of our families look forward to seeing each other and, just being together and learning together and, meeting all of our wonderful vendors who, support individuals here in the state of Rhode Island, in the way of, and just in the way of services. So, hopefully we'll be back in person. That's the plan. So everyone, it's really important that, everyone do their, due diligence to stay, healthy and stay safe and, not spread, Omicron across the state, so that we can keep our numbers down so that we can have the conference. So
Absolutely. So the New England Family Conference is 2 weeks from today. It would be actually running right now
Yep.
because it's a little after 9. So that's March 4th and 5th.
yes.
And then the one at the Crown is May 3rd and 4th. So we've got a little bit of time for the one that's going to be here at home. Are there still opportunities if there's anybody out there watching, maybe they have a company that would like to support the conference? Is there still opportunities to do that, or is that kind of clock running out?
So as of right now, for the March 4th and 5th, we are not accepting right now any additional sponsorship or vendors. But I can tell you, our conference committee for our Rhode Island conference we are definitely looking for sponsors to help support the conference. In any business who's interested in becoming a vendor at the conference, we can get that information out. Maybe there's some way that Rhode Island Elder Info can, share that information out. But there are many opportunities still to get involved with the Rhode Island Caregivers Journey Conference. So
yeah, it's a heavy lift, to get these things done, particularly in the age of COVID, because, best laid plans of mice and men, and then COVID comes along. So I think it's probably really important to get as many supporters as possible for our hometown.
yes, absolutely. Our little state, our little roadie.
That's
We
it.
always say that, we're small but mighty. And
Exactly.
Rhode Island is in an amazing state for us to live in. And we have, a lot of support for our folks living with the diagnosis. But, what we recognize is sometimes that family members just struggle with finding those resources that are available. So, we encourage people to reach out to us at the helpline. We can definitely, help you find resources that you may need. We do a lot of education around how to choose for resources, whether you're looking for, home health, a home health agency, maybe considering adult day, or long-term care. So, we can be that, support to help figure out what's going to be the best service or resource for your families.
That is awesome. Annie, I think I'm going to have you come back on when it's closer to the one taking place in May so that we can remind everybody that that's going to be taking place, because the number of people being diagnosed with Alzheimer's and other related dementias is increasing every day. And right now, as of February 18th, we don't have a cure. So it's really imperative that we get the word out about what those resources are, because, like our core belief here at RI Elder Info is information is power. So what you guys are doing in getting help to individuals who are diagnosed and their caregivers, and you even provide the training to the professionals who serve them, I think it's absolutely important that we keep spreading the word.
And that's, so important. And, when I come back on, hopefully in April, I'll talk to you all and I'll share some more information about our professional training that we have for our direct care staff. So I'd love to have an opportunity to talk about that and share more information about that. So it'll be wonderful.
Absolutely. You're always welcome here, Annie. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, Deb. It's always a pleasure. And, I just want to say thank you to Rhode Island Elder Info and to you for, helping us to spread, the information about the upcoming family conference. So thank you so much for doing that. So,
yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
You too, Annie. So as you heard, it's going to be an amazing conference, the New England Family Conference. It's going to live stream on March 3rd and 4th. So super easy. If you're watching me now, then you can watch the conference yourself, same way. And Annie also included that it's going to be done in other languages as well. It'll be available in Spanish. And I know that that is a community that is sometimes underserved when it comes to sharing information. So hit the share button, hit the like button, get that information out, share the information with as many friends as you possibly can out there. I look forward to seeing you all next week. We have another amazing guest next week. And in the meantime, I hope that you all be well and be kind. See you next week.
If you liked this video, please follow us on social media and subscribe on YouTube. For more information, visit rielderinfo.com or call 401-585-0509. If you have any questions, email deb@rielderinfo.com.